Hey everybody, Oko here, and welcome back to our playthrough of Final Fantasy XI. So, we're starting things off once again today by talking to Level. Now that we're Fame Rank 5 here in Adoulin, we get a new cutscene here, which progresses the story. Oko, perfect timing as always. I've heard you made an appearance at one of the ruling class's post-colloquy banquets. Have you not? Well, that certainly would explain it. And with the way you've been cozying up to our dear princess of late, it only makes sense. Let me share with you something juicy. Ingrid of the Order of Weatherspoon is due to return to Adoulin from a brief sojourn to the Middlelands. Don't be fooled by her fair complexion and youthful attire. She is one of the Order's most respected exorcists, with capabilities far beyond her years. What's an exorcist? You got rocks for brains? Let me see if I can explain this in the simplest terms possible. Undead, bad. No undead, good. I suppose it is a bit more complicated than that. An exorcist is a white mage who focuses not on the path of rest and respite, but rather on smiting the wicked with divine fury. All Adoulinians tots learn that these conjurers have their roots in the sorcerous studies of the first head of Weatherspoon. As if not often seen, techniques were passed from progenitor to progeny, proving useful time and again until the citizenry of our fair city bore the exorcists naught but respect. A little holy here, a little banished there, and bam. Throughout the ages, there have always been exorcists with strong connections to the Order of Weatherspoon. Is that the reason why undead do not accost our fair city? The world may never know. You know how foot soldiers guard bigwigs? That's the role exorcists play here in Adoulin. The leader of these spiritualists turned soldiers is the High Exorcist, Vortimir, an enigma to much of the city. What I am about to tell you comes directly from his lips. So Ingrid is an exorcist. Were you paying attention to a word I said? She's the creme de la creme of a prestigious exorcist chantry. Doesn't that just beat all? But she's also drop-dead gorgeous. Her personality is, however, a bit, how can I put this, abrasive. One tenet of an exorcist's creed is that the wicked shall know no succor. And Ingrid takes this to such an extreme that the less diplomatic call her Ingrid the Merciless. But let's keep that just between us. What would Miss Merciless want with me? Have you gone completely mad? Don't say that too loud, or they'll come for me too. If your aim was to chop 5 years off my life, you've done an admirable job. But back to the matter at hand, Ingrid expressed the desire to see more of the world, so she made a pilgrimage of sorts to the Middlelands. But something urgent came up, and she is now en route back to Adoulin. Vortimir would have you take a stroll down to the airship docks and greet Ingrid when she arrives. Perhaps you're wondering why he chose you. To be honest, I asked myself the same thing. It must not be my place to know. But a request is a request, and here we find ourselves talking this lovely day. Once she arrives, you are to accompany her to Adoulin Castle. Yes, the castle, not the Order of Weatherspoon, Mons. It vexes me too, but Vortimir said to escort her directly there. A real exorcist, yes, I'm a bit busy. Yes, we want to do this. I'm sure her vessel will arrive at any moment, so you'd best hurry. She certainly would not take kindly to being kept waiting. I've made sure she knows who to look for, and I'll send word to the castle, so they'll be expecting you. Off you go then. Alright, so let's head to the docks so we can meet this... What are they called? Oh yeah, exorcist. I was gonna say necromancer, but no, it's an exorcist. Let's go meet her. Alright, so here we are in Western Adoulin. We're going to head straight north towards the end of this wall. The round building at the end there. Not sure what this building is. This must be the airship airport or something. I guess we're going to find out here. A little cutscene loading. You must be Oko. Yes, your name is known to me. As you have no doubt surmised, I am Ingrid, of the Order of Weatherspoon. You mean Ingrid the Merciless? That's the only option, so let's say that. Ingrid the Merciless? And here I thought only natives of Adoulin called me that. Pray tell, who did you hear that from? Go on, I promise not to be angry. It is of little consequence. Long have I known people call me by that moniker. But let me ask you this. Why should any mercy be shown to those who have turned their backs on the goddess? Let all Adoulin be in accord. I am merciless through and through. All who face my judgment shall not even have one speck of ash left. What is the calling of an exorcist, if not to obliterate the defiled from the face of Adoulin? And I will not stop here, no. I intend on the name Ingrid the Merciless being rung throughout the Middlelands as well. But I have no time for idle chatter. I must make haste to Castle Adoulin. Nor do I need you to take me there. Why? Petulant child? Because I am the chosen girl of the Order of Weatherspoon. What will you ask? Just how old you are. Girl? What? Girl? It is not your place to ask such questions. As I said earlier, enough prattling. I have visited the castle countless times in the past. You haven't heard anything about my mission, have you? Not one whit. I've only heard about your beauty. Oh, good lord. I'll just play dumb. Then you must also be unaware of what precipitates my return. I, the greatest exorcist in all of Ulbuka, was summoned back because of none other than... Dun dun dun. A Leafkin. The black sheep of Adoulin himself. I heard word about him becoming cursed into some pitiable form. Cooler heads always prevail, and thus it falls to me to see if this nonsense is true. The missive I received stated that the Founder King's curse has been made manifest, but I have my doubts. I should not be so outwardly skeptical. If Vortimir says it's a curse, then it probably is. And yet again, it falls to someone else to clean up one of Ignis's messes. I thought he had his head on straight until he started this colonization nonsense, but now, that matters little at this juncture. Pandora's box has been opened, and Vortimir is right. We must see this through to its natural conclusion. Unlike Hildebert, who views it as an abominable farce, I know that it's the direction we are headed in, for good or for ill. Who's Hildebert? Of course, that old guy. Hildebert is the head of my order, always wearing those painfully crisp white outfits of his. Your question surprises me. Your name is known amongst the 12 orders, so I imagined you would have met him before. Pray listen, adventurer. You must understand, having come to our fair city to serve as a pioneer of your own volition, no matter what barriers stand before us, we must resolve to destroy them at any cost. Our aim is to press onwards, even if we must violently uproot them, just as our ancestors did during the Great Expedition. Are you familiar with this time in Adoulin's history? I did read some history, so I'll just say of course. Your answer does not convince me, but I am loath to tell you something you may already know. Allow me to give you a brief lesson. Colonization was attempted an additional time after the Founder King's first foray, all those years ago. Several centuries passed. There was another effort to pioneer the mainland. This period of history is known as the Great Expedition. The words of the Founder King grew faint over time, and what do you think happened? A struggle for power between the orders. It was a time of unbridled strife and conflict. Each order attempted to seize power, and the ground turned red with blood as they feverishly rushed to populate the mainland. History is always seen through the eyes of the victor, but as each order considered themselves the winner, we have no fewer than 12 whitewashed versions of what really happened. Those who regale you with these tales of bravery and bravado are completely blind to the corruption of the darkness. No, they actively turn their backs to it. Those of Albuca who took one cautious step into the wild suffered at the claws of the dread spirits and demons that appeared as if from the underworld. And while the squabbling took place in the city proper, who was it that rose above the madness to save our kin? The exorcists. Humanity has no future if it lives in constant fear of demons and curses. Forgive me for boring you. It is not my place to bring internal struggles to your ears. I know you are here for one reason, and one reason alone: money. As long as you remember not to get in our way, you can expect an amiable relationship with me. But while I have your attention, I have heard other curious things about you, namely, that you are able to converse with our dear Grand Chancellor, despite his current state. Well, that certainly is something. This may sound crass, but no one is interested in you as a person. They are interested in what you and this strange power can do for us. Your task is to interpret for me. For that reason, and that reason alone, I shall tolerate your presence. Come, they are waiting. Alright, so now we want to head to Eastern Adoulin and... yeah, we want to go to the castle. We can probably I think we can just transport straight there. And just get the cutscene to start right away. Let me just see here. Oko, why bring someone of such questionable moral character to this assembly? The Order of Adoulin remains yet the leader of our alliance, with a strong lineage tracing back to the Founder King. Why would you summon a mere commoner, and one from a foreign land at that? You seem to have won over the hearts of the nobility, Take a brief moment to listen away from your eyes. Hildebert, there is no reason to work yourself into a tizzy. You are well aware that we attempted to use Rosalatia's poem, which he received from the Queen of the Leafkin, and in the end, None of us were able to communicate with Ignis. No, Oko was the only one to do so. Well, what about that girl? The other girl did too. His sister. She might have been faking it. Dear Svenja, you let yourself be taken in by this mockery of our orders. What proof have you that he wasn't just spouting dribble to serve his own ends? He certainly did not seem to be lying to me. No, Oko seemed like a young man who chooses the path of enlightenment rather than willful ignorance. Oho, my dear Svenja, you seem to have quite the opinion of our enigmatic friend. But darkness of the heart oft lies well hid. Are you sure trusting one such as he is prudent? Not to say, of course, that I disbelieve him. No, it is through Oko that we learn about Ignis's condition, and as well as the Middle Lands themselves. Their armies, politics, economy. We cannot sit forever on this little island, playing fifth fiddle to the rest of Vanadil. On that, I dare say, you are mistaken. Oh, about what? I do not wish to speak ill of Oko, but the situation is not so simple. Lest you forget, Arciella was also able to hear Ignis's voice. And yet she chose to leave Oko with that which Rosalacia bequeathed. Rosalacia gave it to Oko, not to me. Hildebert, Melvien, my trust in Oko is not mere whimsy. If Arciella believes in him, then so shall I. Sometimes I stop and catch myself pondering what this all means. What if? What if all this were a challenge posed to us by the Founder King? In the countless years since his passing, how has Adoulin changed and evolved? That one of his bloodline should be transformed into a lesser being right as colonization recommenced. We may be struggling against a current stronger than ourselves. That is why I wonder if we are being tested. Tested? By whom? I do not know. Perhaps by fate itself. Well, my sarcasm comes back to haunt me. You appear to have some alliance. You appear to have some allies within these walls. The real trial will come right as we pass through these doors. I've heard all I need to. Let us see how useful you really are. I have returned from the Middle Lands, and it appears everyone is already assembled. Dispense with the pleasantries. Show me to Ignis. Far be it from me to doubt one of my own order, but how much can you tell from such a simple gesture? I must confess my surprise at your doubt. I speak only as the goddess guides me. Tell me, do you doubt her wisdom? Forgive me if my words seem brazen, Hildebert. But to the matter at hand, what has befallen Ignis is most certainly some form of curse. Then it is as we suspected. Indeed, and though this is no ordinary curse, I am inclined to believe that it is not born from the Founder King. She's raw, but I cannot put words. Oko, you talk to me now. Why not? Abel, longer. Yes, adventurer, has Ignis spoken to you? You say this is in fact the curse of the Founder King? And what basis have you for contradicting me? So it is, after all. How your mind changes on every whim, like a leaf upon the breeze. Not 5 minutes ago, you were singing a different tune. You were spying on us from outside the door. I never took you for one who only hears what he wants to. That is not the case at all. Just... there is no need to break the curse. What? What do you want to say this? Why not? Don't we want to break it? Okay, well, we'll just say this. Silence, outsider. You have no place interjecting your opinions into this dialogue. Your only job is to tell us what he is saying. It matters not who places the curse upon Ignis. Only a grand ritual of purging will be able to rid such a terrible affliction. But unfortunately... Unfortunately what, Ingrid? Such a purgation requires materials that I do not have on hand. Vanadil only exists thanks to the blessings of 8 crystals. To penetrate darkness, we need a vessel wrapped in the power of the 7 other types. I have on hand thunder, ice, and light, and would ask you to procure earth, water, fire, and wind for me. And what exactly would suffice? They must be things bathed in a holy glow. Let me think. Yes, a piece of stone wall touched by the light of dawn. Holy water untainted by impurity. A flame that has gone unextinguished for 7 years. The wings of a weather vane that has stood the test of time. I require each of those 4 things. And of course, we have someone who is more than willing to serve as our errand boy. Is that not right, Oko? Return here once you have the appropriate items, and I will begin the ritual. Until that time, I shall make preparations. That girl has some nerve. Oko, I would ask you to look after Arciela. Why? I need not tell you that she always runs headfirst into danger. Oko, it is good to see you here. I came as soon as I heard that Ingrid was to examine my brother. But since everyone has already left, how did the ritual go? Tell her about the curse and purging. They're going to perform a purging ritual? I see. So Ingrid feels it is a curse after all, but not the Founder King's. Tell her about the curse and purging. Tell her that Ignis's voice faltered. What? What could it mean that his voice faltered? Arciela? My brother began to show symptoms right as the call went out for adventurers from the Middlelands. It started out as a simple rash. He said it might have been something he picked up in the forest. He was still of human form, talking with me just as he had when we were younger. I can still hear his voice. And then slowly he turned into what you see him as today, eventually losing all powers of speech. And to think, even though you were able to communicate with him telepathically, now, does that mean the curse is still progressing? That this isn't the end? Might he turn into a Leafkin for good? You are too kind to me, and you're right. It would not do for me to sit here and stew. If you're going to help him, if you're going to help find the materials needed for the purging, then let me come with you. I'll do anything to see my brother whole again. Just let me know whatever you need. Alright, so we gotta look for those 4 items, and I don't think we'd have to go far to get them. Let me just... I think we can pretty much get them all around town, but we'll... Yeah. There's something else that we can do right now. If we talk to somebody named Rigobertine. So we'll head down this way, and we want to just quickly talk to this person here, Rigobertine. Let's take a look on the map at where exactly this is. This is sort of just at the end of one of these little parts of town. We haven't actually been down here yet. Let's talk to this person. Looks like a female elf. Elven. This extravagant edifice is one of the many assets held by our current Minister of Judication, Hildebert. Welcome home, Lady Ingrid. Adventurer, a moment, fool. I have been apprised of the Juno Institute of Magical Studies, new trust initiative. You are enrolled in this abomination too, as I understand it. Sure can. My instincts are never wrong. It's a blessing from Altana herself. As an exorcist of the highest caliber, recognizing those whose talents may be of use comes as second nature. You are certainly aware of how I visited the Middle Lands for a time. Even the most reclusive shut-in knows that. My travels took me to the Institute, where they correctly asked me to be a participant in the initiative. All Adoulin expects me to serve as their face in a foreign land. It would be uncouth of me to refuse such an opportunity. Further, imagine how well it would reflect on Vortimir if we were to discover how. But laying that aside for now, an excellence is beyond parallel in this land, Middle-lander. Consider yourself touched by fate that I deign to participate in the ritual with you. How could I not? Why on earth would I? How could I not? Perfect. Let the merciless one guide you. Trust to its name. The ritual requires trust between two individuals. Let us reflect. Your brash insolence was evident from the first time you opened your mouth, but my strength of spirit shall see us through nonetheless. Let us proceed. Merciless, indeed. The rest I leave up to you. Despite your greatest efforts to derail this ritual, it appears to have been a success. My alter ego shall surely be of great use to you. With Adoulin's most prominent exorcist at your side, your foes will tremble and flee. Yes, this incantation only strengthens my ability to purge the world of its ills. Let it take wing and guide you. Only once the world is clean will I finally be free of this pain. Mommy, she's got mommy issues. So there we are. We got the Ingrid Trust, so we'll have to try that out sometime. Now we want to look for those 4 items. Alright, actually, yeah, we can. It says here, we can actually talk to the guard at the gate, Plo, to get some hints about where the items are. Just quickly talk to her to get... Ingrid herself has left me with a message for you. You are to gather 4 items that have been touched by the divine. The first, a piece of stone wall touched... Okay, well, this is exactly what they talked about. So she just says the same thing, I guess. Alright, so whatever. Okay, so we need to actually talk to, looks like Rigobertine is one of the people that we talked to, but I guess the, trust cutscene trumped anything else. So let's just talk to her again. Yeah. Ah, yes, my dear adventurer, come, we have been expecting you. Vortimir himself has bid me hold on to something for you. Here, this eternal flame. The flame was bequeathed unto us by Mo Rihimi, a geomancer who lived many ages ago. No evil force may come within several yalms of its blessed heat, and thus it has burned brightly without fail for years. I can tell the fact that exorcists and geomancers once worked together confounds you. We exorcists answer to a divine providence, yet do not define everything in black and white terms. I have some information for you on the other vessels which Ingrid bid you acquire. Our research suggests that the stone wall touched by the light of dawn has something to do with Adoulin's port district. Sailors and captains of our fair city have a custom of honoring the morning sun, and as such many of our vessels contain the word dawn in their names. And as for the holy water untainted by impurity, we believe it be located in the fountain in western Adoulin's plaza. The fountain's water is taken directly from the Rala waterways underneath Adoulin proper, so it is both pure and clean. Unfortunately, we are at a loss as to where the wings of a weather vane that has stood the test of time might be. However, we have contacted the scouts to gather intelligence. I suggest that you first head to the fountain to begin your search. Alright, we'll do that. Alright, so here's the fountain. I think we just gotta wait for the item to spawn. No, that was it. This one, Fontis. Yeah, Fontis Zanira, which is sort of in the middle of the fountain. So there it is. We obtained, that was easy. The vial of untainted holy water. Okay, so that's good. Now we'll go to the waterfront. They mentioned that. I think we need to go down to this little lighthouse down here. And we're looking for Sunrise Beacon. Oh, there it is. It was on the other side. So there it is. A piece of a stone wall. I guess it was on this side because that's what faces the light, huh? I guess that makes sense. Okay, so we got 3 out of 4. Okay, now we're gonna go back to East Adoulin. Alright, so here we are back in Eastern Adoulin, and we want to go to... We want to go somewhere around here. What are we looking for? Oh, we want to speak to this guy, yeah. Erminoid. Oh, Erminold. Erminoid. No, it's Erminold. Well, what have we here? You must be the pioneer after that weather vane. Me? The owner? Surely you jest. I'm just the hired help. But I do indeed have what you seek. One of the older groundskeepers told me this piece has quite the history behind it, but it's seen better days and has remained in storage for as long as I've been here. Back many years ago, the northern wind blew toward Adoulin for the first time in centuries, carrying upon it a ravaging plague. This vein alerted the citizenry to its coming. Of course, we now have remedies to combat such a disease, and this old thing has seen better days, so, well, I needn't state the obvious. Needless to say, no one could bear to part with something that saved so many lives. That's why it's been buried away here for so long. Make sure you treat it well, here. And we received the weather vane wings. Not sure what this guy normally talks about. Let's just see. Now he just talks about the weather vane. Yeah, we just gotta head back to the castle with the key items. You actually made it back in a reasonable time frame. I must admit to being mildly impressed. Not that this puts you in my good graces, but Ingrid the Merciless knows to give credit where credit is due. Adventurer from the Middlelands. Now that all my implements are here, there is naught to do but perform the purgation. Or purgation? No, it's purgation, I think. Derp. I had hoped that. It is as we feared. Such a strong curse could only be the work of the Founder King. Do you all believe me now? This self-absorbed girl could not dispel the darkness around Ignis. The Founder King's will has spoken. Ugh. I cannot deny the intensity of this affliction. Perhaps my confidence got the better of me. This requires an even more elaborate ritual. I must depart to ponder this further, but I'll be ready next time. So, you've failed. I must apologize for my inadequacy, Lord Vortimir. No, my dear, you need not be sorry. But why? This is the perfect opportunity, Ingrid. The more rituals we conduct, the more our influence grows. But do not fail again. Should our authority come into question, all we have done will have been for naught. Fear not, Lord Vortimir. I have no intention of losing face twice. Our calling as exorcists is to rid Adoulin of forces most fiendish and foul. And this is a task that must be entrusted to us, and no other. Just think back to the time of the Great Expedition. How valued were we then, and how valued will we be again? Colonization must continue, and yet there are many that would see it falter. Iki Eskimo dares not open her mouth, owing to the recent events at the Colosseum, but too many of the other leaders remain hard-headed. Ingrid, a question. Of course. You saw the Grand Chancellor up close. Were you able to? No, I did not have the opportunity. I thought you, of all people, would have been able to understand. I had suspected they would blather on about the Founder King's curse, but this... Pay it no further attention. We have more pressing matters to attend to. I had not expected that girl to turn out to be such a threat. It matters not whether she is telling the truth or lying about being able to hear Ignis's voice, but no matter, her getting in our way is inevitable. Oko, whatever shall we do? Don't break the curse. I can feel it. Ness. Something dreading its way this way. Oko, is my brother saying something? The key, right there, leads you. Ignis? The rosalaceous palm begins to fade, taking Ignis's voice along with it. Oko, tell me, what did my brother say? He was pointing right at me. A key to lead us? What could he have meant? Why, my dear, do you not see? The answer is in front of you, plain as day. Ursiella, you never desired colonization. By pointing at you, he meant that we should follow your true desires. It can only mean that we must respect the will of the Founder King, and that it would be a grave mistake to pursue colonization any further. But no, A clever trick, Hildebert. But pray tell me, is that the only explanation? Could it not mean that Ignis wishes Ursiella to continue colonization in his stead? He may be wishing for her to become the standard bearer of colonization. Your insolence goes too far this time, Melvien. Insolence? No, I have used only the most deductive of reasoning. Countless hours have I spent poring over tomes and annals dating back to our very first colonization effort. You impudent fool. Who are you to look down on the Founder King's dying words? The lesson that the Great Expedition taught us was that the only way to appease him is to honor his spirit. What we must do is cast off this ridiculous premise of rituals and purgations and revere the Founder King as he demands. Just as we did back then, we must go and reseal his tomb once more. Hildebert, it is wholly inappropriate of you to make rash statements in such a place, but perhaps you are right. It makes me wonder, do you not feel that the circumstances surrounding our colonization efforts are quite different from those of the great expedition? Do we even have the time or money to appease his spirit? Time or money? I imply nothing, my dear Hildebert, only that, as the ministers of finance, we must undertake all things with due caution. Though many remember the great expedition for its ultimate failure, at the time Adoulin was able to receive much from the bounty of the wilds. Should you doubt my words, I bid you heed to the Selenia Memorial Library and read for yourself. Do so, and you will understand why I staunchly support the colonization initiative. Our nation has waned in influence since those grand times, though I fear such words will not sway you now. And you would dare turn a matter of faith into one of coin. You and your kind are a blight on this land. Nothing could be further from the truth. No, I cannot in good conscience support policies predicated on our people dying of hunger and languishing in the streets. Are you mocking me? This isn't about you. This is about not being able to wring blood from a stone. Both of you, please. Please, just stop. That was an interesting cutscene. Now, now we're gonna just chill out for a little bit and do whatever we want to do. And we are going to, after a day of resting, we are going to meet at level again at the Pioneer Coalition. So I'll meet you guys there. Let's talk to Level once again and see what kind of information he has to share with us now. Oko, tell me, how goes the pioneering? Good to hear, but since you're here, there's something that's been bothering me. It's about our beloved princess. The color's drained from her face, and she just mopes about everywhere she goes. She had always been so chipper and upbeat before this. You're pretty close with her, right? Do you have any idea what could be wrong? Not really. If you don't know, then it's no wonder. I haven't the foggiest. Something's eating away at her. Do you think her brother's ill? It's been so long since any of us have seen him. Let's cut to the quick. Just now, someone saw Arciella wandering off to the Selenia Memorial Library. Her eyes were all glazed over and unfocused. I'm worried where she'll stumble off to, and what might find her when she gets there. You must surely be concerned for her well-being, too. And it's not just the two of us. She's always been a presence here in the city, and with the way she sort of sticks out. Doesn't matter if you're in favor of or opposed to this whole colonization affair. Some people love her and others hate her. And so, if I could ask of you a favor, nothing that would take too much of your time, I just want you to go talk to the princess. You're on good terms with her, and without her it seems as if the people are lost. That has me just as worried. This isn't official coalition business, but would you mind seeing if there's anything you can do for her? Of course, I know you will. Isn't that right? Yes, of course. I knew I could count on you, Oko. So, let's head to the Selenia Library then. I can't remember if that was in Eastern or Western Adoulin. It is in Eastern. It's a round building, it's not here. So I'll meet you guys there. Wrong way. The round building here, here's the library. We've been here before. I gotta talk to this guy to enter. Oko, are you looking for something here too? What's bothering you? What kind of sweets do you like? What kind of guys are you into? What kind of sweets do you like? My what? Sweets? My favorite kind of sweets? Dear Princess, please remember that you are in a place of learning. Oh my, please forgive me. I promise to be quieter. My, favorite sweets, right. Maybe chocolate crepes with white honey, or witch nougat smothered with maple sugar. And of course, who can forget gâteau aux fraises? The tartness of the berries is just to die for. Gwyneth always told me that I ate too much and would balloon up like a swamp frog. Wait, why are we talking about this again? Because I wanted to cheer you up. Well, you certainly did succeed in surprising me. You were really that concerned about me? For at least one moment, you helped me forget my troubles. Whoever would have thought you'd come all this way just to talk to me about desserts? You're always so kind to me, Oko. We'll make sure to get back to this topic later. To be honest, there is something bothering me. Would you mind lending me your ear? It's about my brother. Of course I'm worried what would happen if he never turned back to normal, but it's more than that. Why would he point at me? I've turned it over and over in my head, but I can't find the answer. Every person in the room had their own take on the matter, but I can't shake this feeling that none of them are right. It's like they're only saying what will help advance their agendas. I don't know what he really meant, but I do know that his words were heartfelt, as they have been ever since we were little children. I just don't understand. What am I supposed to do? Should we keep making inroads into Albuca? Or should we give up and withdraw, like the founder king bids? The arguments rage on with increasing viciousness each passing day. What if the city becomes even more divided? What if this breaks into all-out civil war? If that were to happen, whether or not we colonize the continent will seem but a minor squabble. And what's more, I get the feeling that the anomalies happening through Albuca are not wholly related to colonization. We've long known that beasts lurk in the jungles, but now there are some creatures that we've never even heard of until recently. Why couldn't my brother be more clear with his guidance? Or is it just as you said? Has his illness progressed to the point where we can't even telepathically communicate with him, and he's become a leafkin in more than just flesh? I'm sorry, Oko. All of this is so overwhelming. Try as I might, I cannot unravel these mysteries by myself. That's why I've been coming here for the past few days, hoping to find something, anything. But once again, I've turned up empty-handed. How about your Rosalicia's poem? Has there been any change? I see. But I believe in you, Oko. I know you'll be able to read into what he really wants. Rosalicia, the Leafkin Queen, would not have entrusted you if she didn't see some spark there. I have not been able to leave the city walls of late, but you must be going to the mainland on a regular basis. Please, if you find something, anything, tell me right away. I'll do what I can here. There's just got to be some tome that... Thank you for making the effort to come find me, Oko. Perhaps I'll finally sleep better tonight. I guess that's everything that we need to do here. It was just to get that cutscene, so... yeah, so we'll just head back and talk to Level again. Alright, so here we are back at the Pioneers Coalition once again. Our favorite place. Wow, we got here before Level even spawned in, but there he is. Let's have a cutscene now. It's Oko! It's Oko! There you are. And just in nick of time. This little sprite here kept saying she wouldn't leave my side until she met you, and I'm at wit's end. She tells me you found some medicine for her grandfather. Long time no see, Oko. How's my grandpa doing? Thanks to that nice lady and her special stuff, it doesn't sound like he's coughing up Tempest anymore. I just wanted to thank you once more in person. Thanks a lot, Oko. Too bad the nice lady isn't here. I wanted to thank her for all the touching things she did for me in those scary woods. I guess I'll never be able to see her, though, now that she's a princess. At least that's what my grandpa said. But if you see her, can you please give her my regards? Pretty please, with sugar on top? I think you've got the wrong idea, Missy. Hey, come back. Oh, well, there's no use chasing after her, just to explain. I know we use princess as a term of endearment for her, but I don't think you could even use the phrase constitutional monarchy to describe Adoulin these days. The king himself abolished royal rule long ago. I suppose such concepts soar far above the head of a pixie like her anyway. Now that I won't be interrupted, you and Arciela found some herbs for that girl's grandfather, correct? Apparently, they're harder to come by than an Orobon in the basalt fields. Count your lucky stars that the princess is so knowledgeable about plant life. Come to think of it, I haven't heard about any of her woodland escapades recently. I don't mean to pry, but how's she faring? I spoke to her in the library. She's got a sweet tooth. I asked about guys. No, this one. I see. So she was thoroughly absorbed in her research and not particularly talkative then. At least it sounds like she was in good spirits. Those in support of the colonization movement have not been kind to Arciela, due to her reserved stance on the matter. On the other hand, her journeys into the wilderness do not go over well with her more traditional constituents. They fear her much as they would a witch. Perhaps things would be different if she settled in with a single faction instead of taking the high road and treating everyone as equals. Still, there are people in the Pioneers Coalition who think the world of her. Just like that little girl who ran off a few moments ago. My point is that Arciela may feel alone, but she's not. As our representative, stick by her through thick and thin, so she knows just how important she is to this city. Alright, so let's just exit Western Adoulin. You there. If you value your life, don't you dare step another foot toward the jungle. This damsel must have been summoned by the spirits of the forest. Oh, Oko. How coincidental that we should meet under such unsavory circumstances. By summoned by the spirits of the forest, I mean exactly as I said. You can take my words at their face value. To elaborate, I mean this current episode mimics one that occurred many years past. As to what the forest might want with her, My memories offer not even the slightest hint. What I do know is that this maiden will continue to head the hinterland's call if we pretend this is only an isolated incident. She may even venture into the dark heart of the jungle, for there is no possible way we can keep watch over her at all times. If only the forest were not so dangerous. Maybe then she could feasibly meet with her mind's captor and plead for release from this ailment. Left to her own devices, however, I fear that it is more likely she would be praying for the sweet release of death from whatever savage beast stumbles upon her. If you wish to keep this girl from becoming a clump of bloody flesh hanging between jagged fangs, you will need to ascertain what it is that the spirits of the jungle want with her. Fortunately, you already know someone whose erudition regarding forest apparitions is non-paral. Who do you know like that? Uh-oh, I don't know what to say. No one? Oh, I should have said Arciela. We just saw her in that cutscene. Oko, I understand that as an adventurer you are constantly asking to make split-second decisions. This is not one of those times. You only make yourself look like a fool for doing such. Yes, I should have said Arciela. Precisely. I am certain you were witness to it personally, but I have heard many a tale about how Arciela is able to commune with those who inhabit the jungle. The way I see it, Oko, you are the man for the job. You know the right people, and more importantly, any adventurer worth his weight in Bailed knows that saving damsels in distress is his goddess-given duty. Oko, of the Middlelands, do you have what it takes to uphold the tenets of your faith? Oh, what unbridled enthusiasm. Very well, I hereby entrust you with this most lofty of deeds. I would lend a hand myself, but I am afraid both of mine are tied with other affairs at the moment. Hey, don't think that stealthy black outfit doubles as official permission to enter the woods. Get back here. Let the man Wan be, Elmeric. He has his own brand of permission wishing. It would be best to rue if we don't interfere. I doubt I shall ever understand how he manages to remain so expression-wesionless all of the time. At any rate, he is a true oddity, an enigma tightly enclosed within a riddle, shrouded by a conundrum-wondrum. No wonder so much of the soldier's idle chit-chatteroo revolves around him. Well, if there's no use chasing after that rebel, let's concentrate on protecting the girl. Hey you, Pioneer. Yeah, I'm talking to you. We heard you blabbering with that black coat earlier. What was all that about? The girl's being summoned by spirits, and you need to enlist Arciela help or something? And how do you even know the princess? Ah, if my memory serves me, you are that adventurer from the Middlelands. What a surprise. Guess that means you'll be able to tell Arciela about this little incident. You deal with that, and we'll deal with getting the maiden home safe and sound. Huh? Why in all that's holy would you ask us where the princess is? You're the one who's all friendly with her. Wouldn't you know better than us? Why don't you try looking for her in places where you've met her before? Pretty basic advice, right? Well, if you ask a stupid question, you get a stupid answer. Alright, well, I think that's everything we need to do, so we can actually head back to Adoulin now, and we're going to go to the Selenia Memorial Library. Hello, my dear Oko. Why the long face? Why, yes, I have in fact seen the princess. She is right over there, doing what library patrons do. She has recently been rather absorbed in the abnormalities plaguing the hinterland, and has visited our humble archives numerous times these past weeks. As an aside, I believe her current interest lies closer to home. Are you aware of the incident that occurred in town? Oko! How fortuitous! There's something I wanted to ask you. I know it seems like I'm obsessed with my brother's cryptic message recently, but I absolutely swear it isn't about him. I wanted to talk to you about the recent appearance of evil spirits in the city. Oops, I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? Apparently, there's a woman whose behavior has been quite suspicious of late, to say the least. For example, she's been slipping out of her house in the dead of night. That normally wouldn't be much cause for concern, except she looks like this when she walks, with a blank stare and glazed over eyes. What's more, she speaks in tongues whenever she's afflicted. Her destination seems to be somewhere in the jungle, as she often tries to leave the city. Any questions? You're researching what exactly? I thought you were reading some books. You're not exactly reading anything. Huh? Oh, that was a joke? Well, it was a rather uncouth one, if you ask me. Why am I researching this anyway? Because the woman in question is the daughter of Polemio, who holds a high office in the Pioneers Coalition. He presides over certain aspects of Adoulin's mercantile endeavors, and is an outspoken proponent of the colonization movement. I was just about to pay him a visit after I collected the necessary background information here. But you've come at the perfect time. If possible, would you please accompany me? I have a hunch that this could somehow be related to what befell my brother. What? You've seen something exactly like this? What are the odds? Oh my, how terrible. Let's make haste to the battlegrounds to find this Elmric person and check on that poor girl. And of course we have a warp to this character. It's the first warp. I should have known that. Where is he? There he is, right? Oh yeah, we've talked to him before. He's the one that we did the logging quest for way back when we were first here in Adoulin. Oh, it's you and Arciella? Pardon me, Lady Adoulin, for not noticing you sooner. And here I thought that adventurer was just blowing smoke. Anyway, what brings you out here? Oh, the girl? She finally regained consciousness, so we escorted her back home. Where's that? It's in eastern Adoulin, some nondescript boarding house on the way to the statue of the goddess. How about you let the princess do the talking, Middlelander? Oh, I know whom you're talking about. That's Nylene, Polemio's only daughter. We can't afford to let this chance pass us. Bye. Let's head to their boarding house right now. Okay, so here we are, the castle. We want to go to H9, so we need to go south. I wonder if it's that building there. No, that's not that door. Is it this one? Boarding house. Yeah, here we go. This is it. No! However could it have come to this? You still do not understand, old fool. This is deserved castigation at the hands of nature. Your comeuppance for supporting the forbidden act of colonization and draining the lifeblood of this continent. I agree that her curse is a result of her father's stance on colonization, but I think the agency behind her malady belongs to a different source. This is nothing other than a premeditated conspiracy to hinder our colonization of Ulbuka. And just who is capable of such a heinous act? Why, witches, of course. Witches? Preposterous. Surely you cannot think their ilk still exists. They exist without a doubt, and I fear we know them all too well. I'm sure even you can't have forgotten about the destruction wrought by that monstrous coven. No, you cannot possibly mean... That is downright absurd. Your obsession with finding evil in every corner has gone too far. You exorcists are worse than zealots. I would stay my tongue if I were you. Let's just say it would do you well to remember what profession Hildebert's right-hand man is. You don't want Lord Vortimir discovering how incompetent you feel he is, do you? Not another fight. I can't go anywhere anymore without seeing people at each other's throats. What should you do? Comfort Ursula. Shut the Witherspooners up. Yeah, let's comfort our friend. You're right, Oko. I shouldn't let my emotions get the best of me. That's why we can't just stand by and let their tempers flare. Who in the goddess's auspices are you? Well, if it isn't the Middlelander, and I see you brought the princess with you. I humbly request that you two put this quarrel to rest. Stirring up each other's emotions won't solve anything, especially over something like this. This isn't merely something, my dear princess. A girl has been cursed. Slow down. Shouldn't we hear what Polymio has to say before jumping to conclusions? Now, sir, could you please tell us exactly what happened to your daughter Nylene? Yes, of course. However, I doubt what I have to say will offer much insight. I barely understand her condition myself. As I told the peacekeepers earlier, my daughter has recently begun exhibiting rather strange behavior. She wanders the streets night after night as one possessed. If no one is there to stop her, she unfailingly meanders into the wilds. It's obvious she would act like that. This is a textbook example of a curse. You are but preaching to the choir, and I tire of having to continually explain that. My apologies, sir and madam. You can ignore their aspersions. If you have anything else to add, we'd be grateful to hear it. Let me think. Well, once she has fallen into that state, her eyes wander as if staring at nothing in particular. Engaging in conversation with her is nigh on impossible. But sometimes she will turn and face a certain direction, then unleash a barrage of incomprehensible gibberish. Like I said before, despite giving off the appearance that her mind is somewhere else, the moment you look away, she vanishes into the woods. I know not what would have become of my precious Nylene had those two kind souls at the bivouac not been there to see to her welfare. And where is your daughter now? She is in the next room over, fast asleep. I see. So, you two have cause to believe these are signs of a curse. And, Ingrid, you say you've heard of a similar phenomenon? Indeed I have. Whilst on my travels through the Middlelands, I heard a tale of an individual who was afflicted by the curse of evil spirits. He was doomed to walk the street of his city both night and day without reprieve. However, he left behind a legacy. To this very day, the people of his land dress up as ghosts once a year, and have others chase after them. Their pursuers even receive delectable confections for their efforts. The origin of such festivities is almost certainly linked to a historical event in the distant past. Why the participants would reward pursuers with candy is beyond me. What illogical traditions those Easterners have. I'd say that the practice likely comes from an ancient ceremony that served the same function as exorcisms do today. My, to think that such a ludicrous custom would have a rich history behind it. A stunning story, if ever I have heard one. Thanks. I thought it was pretty good myself. What? You mean to say that you fabricated that whole explanation? Cassard, your blatant lack of diligence disturbs me. Our order would surely sink into disrepute with you at its helm. While you've been content to remain snugly within your proverbial Albucan washbin, I've explored seas wider than you could possibly imagine and returned with a veritable treasure trove of information. For example, did you know that people in the Middlelands have, for some years, succeeded in communicating with the spirits of an ancient witch brood? The name of that brood would not happen to be the Dark Lilies, would it? Ah, so you are familiar with them. I can't say as I am surprised, though, as everyone in the Order of Weatherspoon would have heard that name at some point. Let's give you a challenge, then. What about the rumors that the troop of evildoers who skulk about the hinterland are the Dark Lilies' successors? I refuse to believe such tripe. Troop, you say? So there were multiple witches involved? Yes. I can say with full confidence that this is the work of the Blackthorn Coven. The Blackthorn Coven? A tyrannous clan of apocalypses incarnate. They might as well be joined at the hip for how often they're seen apart. They've set eastern Albuca ablaze with their surreptitious experiments and single-handedly extinguished the burning passions of numerous pioneers. They somehow continued to evade us, flying back into the forest, only to bare their talons at a later date. No wonder they're also known as the heinous harpies. It is this nefarious sisterhood to which your daughter has fallen victim. No, you're wrong. At least that's what I want to believe. I understand that they may be likened to harpies, but I simply don't think they're capable of something like this. What's more, Oko knows something about this Nylene incident that you don't. Go on, tell them. Yes, please, indulge us, Oko. It might be the work of forest sprites. I don't know... This one? I'm not sure which one we're supposed to... I see. So, if she were called by forest sprites, then that is far enough, Arciela. You do not truly believe in this flagrant display of balderdash, do you? Does he have any evidence with which to support this outrageous argument? We have enough, in my opinion. For example, I've noticed a spiritual aura in the air ever since we entered this dwelling. It's undeniably faint, almost like the scent of far-off flowers borne aloft on the morning breeze. However, I can still sense it. The feeling greatly resembles what Oko and I experienced when we met those spirits in the Sizek battlegrounds. We've had to investigate further before making any definite statements, but what Oko proposes seems more than plausible. Auras hanging in the air? Flowery scents? Fie, I say! You employ florid metaphors to divert our attention from your spacious reasoning. This is none other than the curse of the wilds. Mr. Polymio is the leading figure of the colonization movement and has been targeted precisely because of his position. His daughter and the Chancellor have been cursed to show that not even the most influential Adoulinians are above the will of the woodlands. With that, I bid you farewell. I have no more time to squander on sophistry when I am expected at the Weatherspoons' manse for vespers. Polymio, you would do well to leave everything to me. I shall make sure that you receive the full support of Hildebart as well. Therefore, once we lift the curse, all I ask is that you grant us a few minimal favors. I think you mean if you lift the curse. I honestly don't see you succeeding where my betters have failed. Squawk all you want, but when the time comes, you and the princess will be proven for the fledglings that you are. Now, if you would excuse me, I have a citizen to save. If he wants to waste his time praying, that's his prerogative. We all know there's only one way to lift a coven's curse: send them back from whence they came. Once this world is no longer defiled by their presence, the girl shall once again be free. Let the fires of divine judgment cleanse them of their iniquity. Who do I believe here? They both promise me my daughter's return to normalcy, but their methods seem diametrically opposed. What about your rosalaceous palm, Oko? Does it sense any abnormal presence? Your rosalaceous palm exhibits no reaction whatsoever. Well, it doesn't have anything to do with the leafkin. I guess that proves Cassard wrong. Your Pum would surely have reacted in some way if the woods were involved. Moreover, I seriously don't think the Blackthorn Coven has anything to do with this. That leaves... Mistress Arciella, I beg of you, please save my daughter. Don't worry, I'll do everything in my power to cure your daughter of this affliction. However, I'll need your help with something in order to accomplish that. A strange spiritual energy permeates this room even as we speak. Could either you or your daughter possibly have brought back any artifacts from the forest? That seems highly unlikely. I may be a proponent of colonization, but I have personally never strode into the hinterland. Come to think of it, I did purchase an enchanting stone at the market the other day. The vendor told me that it comes from deep within the Albucan jungle and resembles no jewel or mineral I have previously seen. Not only did it have a peculiar shape, but it was so overlarge that I could not fit it in my palm. And the color. Upon first glance, it was a stunning shade of crimson, but upon further inspection, it shone as warmly yellow as the sun. I rarely express any interest in expensive jewels, but I simply had to have this rare specimen for my collection. It wonderfully complements my Altana-shaped tree root and the rock Sverhide once slipped upon whilst climbing his eponymous hillock. Many of my colleagues have also succumbed to the temptation of the collector, for we all possess menageries of bizarre objects. In fact, the stone in question is said to have previously been worshipped as a vessel of transcendental power. The merchant who sold it to me added that it could very well have been crafted for communion with a creator deity. He was not so forthcoming with a name of which one, but I am certain it must be important. My daughter was captivated by the stone's mystic properties, even more so than me, so I bequeathed it unto her. Now that I mention it, her behavior started to change soon after receiving the stone. Aha, so that stone's likely the culprit. Polymio, would you mind if I met with your daughter? I have some questions for her. Of course not. Do as you please. Her room is the next one over. She's done it again, dear. What? She's gone? When I went to check on her, the window was open and she was nowhere to be seen. Damn this curse. We'd best start looking for her immediately. Hopefully she has not gone far. Let's help look for her, Oko. Where do you suggest we start? Where will we look for Nylene? All over town, the chest of drawers, what? I guess we should start with all over town. So you want to chase her down then? Let's do it. It'll be like a game of peacekeepers and pickpockets. I doubt those sprites bear any ill will towards Nylene, but I get the feeling that something awful will happen if she enters those woods. Polymio, could I ask you to please search the town while Oko and I look for her at the edge of the forest? Ma'am, we'll let you know immediately once we find her, so please don't move from this spot. All right. Understood. Okay, so we're in this area. I think we're supposed to be right around here in this round area. So I think we're probably going to want to be back here. I see something glowing here. Yeah, the Ergon Locust. Yeah, all we had to do was approach it. Now the cutscene starts. She got far. Wow, we're really far from, Adoulin from here. Look, Oko, it's those buffoons from before. See what's in her hand? That's the mysterious stone Polymio was talking about, right? The spirits must be harbored within it. She was probably carrying it when you first helped her, too. I bet they just forgot to mask their aura this time. You know how stupid they were when we encountered them before. Looks like I'm right. Chalk one up for old Arciella. This Hume is agonizingly slow. Such is our lot. I thought I would perish in there. Yet we did not. Enjoy the freedom we have been given. The horror, never will I return to that den of iniquity. Oko, she needs our help. Where am I? Are you alright, Nylene? I think so. Wait, Princess Arciela? Why are you here? My friend Oko and I came to rescue you from the clutches of the spirits who led you out here. They took control of your mind and forced you to trek into the jungle, didn't they? Huh? What? I guess so. I don't know, I'm so confused. That's okay, just calm down. Anything you can remember at all will be a huge help. Alright, I'll try. At first I had no idea what was going on. I've had no recollection of what I'd done during parts of the day, and those periods eventually got longer and longer until the stone. The light from within Nylene's mysterious stone fades into oblivion. Yes, the stone. The spirits hid within it and would periodically force their way into my head, causing me to submit to their every command. At the same time, though, I gained some incredible insight. I'm not really sure how to explain it, except that I was able to share consciousness with the entities controlling me. Share consciousness? Yes. It was as if our minds were connected. I could hear them simultaneously grieve for their freedom and apologize for their transgressions. The words, "Let us return home," and "our deepest apologies" would constantly ring in my own head. Even our emotions seemed linked. For I would sometimes begin shedding tears for their plight, even though I resented what they were doing to me. It was surreal, like crying in a dream. My heart still aches thinking of what I saw while in that state. The fairies apparently got separated from their brethren while frolicking about the woods. Then a pioneer or someone stumbled upon them, which sent the spirits into a panic, and they hid inside the rock. You were able to learn all that because your minds were linked? Yes, though I almost wish I hadn't. Well, I'm glad that you emerged from it unscathed. Your parents should be even more relieved when they see that you're all right, so let's get you back. You knew that we and the spirits of the forest could share memories and feelings? Who knew that we and the spirits of the forest could share memories and feelings? If Nylene could do that with forest spirits, then perhaps my brother. I'm sorry, forget I ever said anything. This is neither the time nor place. Anyway, we need to take Nylene home. There should be a frontier station around here, if my memory serves me. Father! Nylene! I'm so happy you're okay. Arciela, thank you so much. Damn it. We are eternally grateful for what you and that frontier friend of yours have done for us, Princess. Oh, I almost forgot that pioneer friend of yours. Oko. His name's Oko. Thank you as well, Oko. This reward may not be commensurate with that which you receive in the Middlelands, but it is all I have on hand. I apologize for the inconvenience I have caused you two, and may you never have to endure an ordeal such as this again. Now, maybe Mother can stop nagging you about getting suckered in by shady vendors. Worry not, my love. I shall never purchase another obscure bauble as long as I live. Your daughter's right, Polimio. There are likely ponzes upon ponzes of potential dangers lying in wait within the hinterland. Until we know exactly how upsetting them will influence our own lives, we'd best be careful. The girl speaks the truth. It is best to let sleeping chocobos lie, so we must never venture forth into the jungle again. Please don't put words in my mouth. That's not what I was saying. Either way, it seems that what was afflicting Nylene is no more. If that is the case, then there is no reason for me to stick around. Goodbye. I too must take my leave and inform Hildebert of what has transpired. Neither of those two is willing to give an ilm. Is there nothing we can do to get them to cooperate? Nevertheless, I can't believe your intuition, Oko. If you hadn't told me she was summoned to the forest by spirits, I would never have noticed their aura in the house. Nylene would also still be alone and confused in the heart of Hanatiel. If we'd arrived even a few minutes later, she might have been eaten by goddess knows what. I can't take credit for this. Yeah, you're rather slow. I can't take credit for this. Let's be humble. What? Why can't you take credit for this? Wait, so someone gave you the idea when you found Nylene in the battlegrounds. How could that be, I wonder? Black hair and a beard? Oh, him, yeah. Theodore, I think his name is. Spindly gray hair and looks decrepit. His clothes were black as morning veil. He wore a mysterious mantle, the daintiest... yeah. He had with him a sword that could... no, he had a jewel-encrusted staff. He must be a unique individual if you remember all that about him. An old man dressed all in black. Aha! Could that possibly have been Theodore? That'd make sense, seeing as how he's lived on the Albucan mainland for quite some time. He's sure to know things that we don't. Yes, he would. Hey, Oko, do you think that we should ask him about my brother? Maybe he can shed some light on the situation too. Oko, I just want to say, I believe in you. I know you can figure out what my brother wanted to tell us. I'm not going to pawn off all the responsibility to you, though. I'll search for Theodore in my spare time as well. Until we meet again, Oko. That meddling princess and her adventurer pet. I feel as if they have made it their personal mission to assassinate my character. Nothing good ever comes from being in the same room as them. Ah! Ha ha ha. Alright, Ingrid, calm down. You can't have Vortimir getting wind of what happened. Not after you promised him you wouldn't make another mistake. Let the Middlelander be. When all is said and done, no one would lend an ear to a money-grubbing outsider. The true threat to the Exorcist's resurgence is the princess. Mark my words. Arciela v. Adoulin. Soon enough, you shall regret ever having crossed Ingrid the Merciless. Alright, there we are. We finished that little section of the chapter, and we get a little bit of limit points and build, and possibly even an increase to our Adoulin fame. Alright, so let's take a little break, and then we'll regroup at the Pioneers Coalition in just a little bit. Alright, so let's talk to Level here at the Pioneers Coalition and see what gossip he has for us. Well, if it isn't Oko, coming looking for more trouble, no doubt. Wish I had something for you to do, but my slate's as clean as the waters of Fontes Zanira. But wait, you're not really here to see me, are you? No, I'm looking for someone. Yes. Say that. Another one of your manhunts, is it? Theodore, you say? Oh, right, that old fuddy-duddy, who's always dressed like he's headed for a funeral. Funny you should mention him. One of my buddies who fancies himself adept at games of chance was talking the guy up a few days back. Something about counting cards and loaded dice. Bah, I turned him out. But if you're looking for a Theodore, I'd check at the Mummers Coalition. Besides, with that dour look plastered on your face, you could probably use a bit of relaxation. Altana loves all her children, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit if that expression makes even her think twice about giving you guidance. Off you go. Let your hair down and gamble away some bailed. Everyone needs an escape now and again. I'll even give you a little bit so you don't have to worry about spending your hard-earned bailed. I don't get enough time off here, so I'm counting on you to have enough fun for the both of us. And thanks, Level. He gave us 100 bailed. So let's head on over to the Mummers Coalition. We are going to talk to our friend here, Masad, the one in the back here. Talked to her before, her or him, can't remember. Here he is. Well, well, my dearest Oko, pray tell, how went everything with the young lady you were after? Oh, you say you teamed up with our fair princess? The two of you have been seeing a lot of each other lately. But enough small talk. What can I do for you today? I presume you did not approach me simply to stare at my impeccable groomed mustache. Can you help with the Ignis issue? Yes, that's what we're here for today. Bit of a hot-button issue these days. Well, we have had our fair share of dealings of late, and of course, I'm inclined to help you. To be frank, I have grown bored with my lot of late, and all things have their price. As an adventurer, you must understand. Treasure means more when you overcome adversity to obtain it. In exchange for my aid, I would ask that you play a game with me. No, I promise there shall be no riddles this time. I propose a mere game of chance, say boom or bust. One round would leave too much to chance, however. I know. We shall make it a best of 5 affair. Should you emerge the victor, I will aid you in whatever you seek. Alright, Lady Luck's smiling on me. You look a little pale, Loco. Feeling the pressure? Haha, I jest. This is just a game between friends, so there is no need for you to stiffen up like a day-old loaf of bread. The time for talk is over. Let us see whom fortune favors. It is all skill and a little luck. Who does Altana favor this day? It is now turn number 1 for your opponent. Your opponent shot. You got a 6 for a total of 6 on turn number 1. What will you do? I'll shoot. What to do? Bring it home. It is now turn number 2 for your opponent. Your opponent shot. You got a 5 for a total of 11 on turn 2. Stay. You stayed. Come on. Daddy needs a new pair of Sabatons. It is now turn number 3 for your opponent. Your opponent shot. You stayed. Are you sure about that? It is now turn number 4. And we stayed. You win and thus have the right to gloat all you want until your rematch. Your record for this match is currently 1-0. I must admit to taking an interest in your skill, but 'tis too early to raise the white flag. Well, we won the first game. It is all skill. Yes. Okay, so let's just see if we... So yeah, we gotta get as close as we can to 11. That's the goal. Yeah, so 1. So we're definitely gonna go again. Alright, so 7. That's a tough one. Do we stay at 7? I'll shoot. See if we go over. Good! That's pretty close. 9. We'll have to stay with that, I think. Stay. Well, I'm glad we didn't go over there. Wait, what's this? Your shot for turn 3. Theodore forces you to lose to shoot again? I'm confused. Huh? I don't know what happened there, but I think we're... So we lost. Oh, that's too bad. We had 9. Huh. Even Steven, that is what they call it. So we got 11 again. So he switched something on us. His 5 has been changed with your 3. And your total is now 13. Well, that sucks. That means we're over. Can I switch on him? Aw, man. I don't know. Oh my god. I just totally guessed perfectly and got an 11. Alright, we made him bust. So that's 2 we've won. We still have to win 1 more because it's best of 5. And I think he won 1. Six. That's a pretty high number. I'll go 1 more. Uh-oh. We busted. We lost. Our total is now 11. He forced us to shoot again, and I think that... Wow, I'm gonna stay at 11. Wow, I think he might have just saved us. Let's just see what happens here. Okay, good, we won, so that's it. I think we did it. That was strange. That was kind of... Had a lot of luck involved in that. But we got it on our first try, which is nice. Congratulations, my friend. With the look on your face, I was not sure you would make it. Pay my ramblings no heed, Oko. What is it you wish to discuss? About Ignis, I see. Is that so? I think I understand. What you truly seek is the reason why Ignis pointed his twig of a finger at his younger sister. Why, the answer is so obvious that I am amazed you came to me at all. Think, Oko. Was he really pointing at Arciella or something else? I am sure he would be loath to point at another, as it goes against the very basics of etiquette. Begging your pardon, but would you do me the favor of pointing at me? see, Oko? Like that? When one points at another, he instinctively goes for the chest. So let me ask you to think carefully. Where was Ignis pointing? The sword. The dagger, whatever it is, yeah. Yeah, we're not going to make this mistake again. It was her waist. Yeah, we saw that already. Aha! And what, pray tell, is it about her waist that warrants pointing out? A sword. Precisely. Arciello was not the subject of his gaze. Rather, what truly caught his eye was the sword she had at her side. Don't you agree? How the question you must ask yourself is, what does this all mean? You are a smart man, Oko. Surely you do not need to spoon-feed you. His message was intended for you, was it not? I suppose I have a few years on you, but it would be too much for you to expect me to provide all the answers. I am not an oracle, blessed with the ability to see the truths hidden behind shadows. The best I can do is provide you with tiny insights into the realm of possibilities. Now, if I were you, I would start by finding out all I could about Arciela's blade. And if you had to find information somewhere, where would that be? I leave this mystery in your capable hands, Oko. Let's head back to Level and let him know what we just talked about here. Gotta have Level, gotta have somebody that we can bounce these ideas off of. Oh, here it is. Oh-ho, it's Oko again. To what do I owe the honor this time? Orther sign. The bearded guy in black. How to win boom busts. Well, I don't know. What's this Orther sign? I don't know. Ah, you mean the mysterious blade. Oh, that's what it was called. Okay, well, that was the right option then. Ah, you mean that mysterious blade of hers she always keeps buckled at her waist. I forgot that's what it was called. Orther sign, you called it. It must be something special to have such an enigmatic moniker. Wish I could help you, but my specialty lies in pioneering and colonization. Afraid I won't be of much use. Now, if you wanted to know where you could find out more, then, This is Le Lanjavo. Well, well, look who the cat dragged in, if it isn't Oko. Here in the flesh, what a coincidence. Let me give you a piece of advice, not as a maester, but as a person. Don't rely on whispers and rumors for information. Look, read, feel, and find things out on your own. And when it comes to reading, well, there's one place in Adoulin that stands above all. Where else? The Selenia Memorial Library. Stop wasting your time floundering around my good-for-nothing subordinates and paw your way over there. Volumes of knowledge speak more truths than this moron could ever muster. And since I'm already berating you, Level, stop sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. Yeah. You think I'm making some kind of joke? We'll see how much energy you have left to mock me after I double your shift and take away your lunch break. But my boiled tomatoes will spoil. So today we've learned that someone cherishes his meals more than his job. No, it's not like that at all. Standing here and providing guidance helps my day shine brighter than the statue of Altana. Then let me bring a little more light in your life by having you come in this light's day. Gotta save me. Oko, what are you still doing here? Didn't I tell you to get to the scrawny frame of yours over to the library? Hut-tut. If you don't get out of here right now, well, let's just say my claws are due for a good sharpening. Wow, she reminds me of another female Mithra I knew. In Whitegate. Ooh. Okay, so I guess we're gonna be heading to the library. Yep. Let's do it. Let's just head there right now. It's in Eastern Adoulin, right outside the Scouts Coalition. Ah, Oko, always a pleasure to have you come pay us a visit. Our fair princess is not here today, but I would be glad to assist you in any way I am able. Orthersign, the sword of the Founder King, you mean? All our books on historical happenings and artifacts are located on the shelves toward the back of the room. I have but one request. Please do not cause much of a ruckus this time. Take a look at which books. Heroes and Legends of Adoulin. You carefully remove Heroes and Legends of Adoulin from the shelf. Its red leather cover is emblazoned with the seal of the Order of Adoulin. The first chapter, floridly titled White Wings of the Swallow, Bring Glory Unto Our House, contains a vivid description of the Founder King's exploits in Ulbuka, as well as a variety of minutiae about royal retainers. And so it came to be that the Founder King, may his glory blossom eternal, advanced onto the continent with 11 of his most trusted retainers. In one fell swoop he severed the head of 100 beasts, and the very trees parted before his noble visage, their limbs genuflecting as he passed ever further into the jungle. But the innermost reaches refused to yield to even one so steadfast of will and righteous of spirit as his majesty. If he could not breach the veil, then what hope did his 11 retainers have? One by one they fell to demons with teeth as long as greatswords and claws as sharp as daggers, or brambled vines whose choking grasps injected poison into the retinue's writhing flesh. Only one remained resolute in the face of impending doom, the unwavering Moramar of the Order of Schnedic, whose axe cleaved foe after foe in twain in the name of our king. And then the continent began to turn on them. What happened to them that day was lost to the ages, yet the Founder King surely stared into the cold gaze of death as he lay beneath the shrouded canopy. As the darkness clouded his eyes, he feebly rose his right hand, presented Moramar with his blade and a tiny keepsake, and with his last breath murmured, "Never again shall man set foot into the wilds of Ulbuka." Moramar solemnly accepted these gifts as the Founder King bid him return to Adoulin in his stead. Moramar hurried back to this city, spreading the Founder King's dying words to all. His duty fulfilled, he marched back into the wilds, never to be heard from again. Treasures of the Royal Family. And it's a blue cover. Depictions of various jewels, paintings, earthenware, and more adorn the tome's faded yellow pages. Orthersign. This blade, specifically a poignard, was wielded by the late Founder King from the age of 6 until his untimely demise in the wilds of Ulbuka. Since then, each of Adoulin's kings have kept the blade at their side, not just as a ceremonial object, but also as a solemn reminder of the Founder King's dying words. In more recent history, the dissolution of the monarchy means that no one man has ruling authority over the city, yet each Grand Chancellor has continued to uphold this most ancient of customs. Owing in large part to the circumstances of the legendary poniard returning to Adoulin after the Founder King's fall, rumors abound that the blade holds a latent potential within it. yet none have seen it do anything more than hang at its owner's waist. His Majesty and the Golden Beast. This is a black volume. A colorful illustration meant for a younger audience depicts a 3-yalm-tall beast of unknown species rearing up on its hind legs to confront a battle-ready Founder King. And the biggest monster Adoulin ever did see rose up and bared its teeth at the king. How big was it? Why, it made even the biggest mountain look like the tiniest vermin nest. The Founder King's head nearly fell from his shoulders, straining to look up at its face. Its fur sparkled in the light of the brightest sun above. The beast gave over a mighty roar. Grog! Its claws were bigger and sharper than even the king's sword. Leave this to me, the king bellowed as he shielded his friends, and so he fought the beast all by himself. They fought for 7 days and 7 nights, until the beast finally apologized for making the king mad. Who are you? The king asked. My name's Tarqualm, the beast replied. So, Tarqualm, what is it? You lost, which means you must obey me. Of course, master. And that's how the big scary beast came to travel with the king deep into the jungle. Did you find what you were searching for, Oko? All volumes, tomes, and treatises ever published in Adoulin find their way onto our shelves. If it exists, you'll find it here. You wish to learn more about our princess's sword. Would that I could help you further, but if what you seek is not located in our annals, then I am unable to do so. Perhaps the one who knows the most about the blade would be its wielder, Princess Arciella herself. I had an inkling that my words would bring out the bookworm in you, Oko. I was thinking back on our conversation and recalled an old legend told about the blade in question. I am pleased that I found you before you departed. Is your research complete? Ho ho, then I have impeccable timing. Tell me, have your studies borne fruit? I am quite interested in hearing what you have learned. Then we can discuss this legend of mine. The Selenia Memorial Library shines once more, a veritable treasure trove of information to be sure, and your discoveries will help put this in the proper context. Let me regale you with the tales I have heard, though they may differ slightly from what other sources tell. In an age whence shade denon his land, the warrants of forest shalt flock, noen the lem of the murk blade, yet only with the oar of the swallow's white ward. Hence, one of the white feather shalt flourishin the swerdest sext. You seem perplexed, Oko. Like most legends of old, the words themselves are quite tangled, wouldn't you agree? I have faith that you can puzzle it out. Think of it as a mental exercise that may aid you in your quest. Fare thee well, Oko, as my task for the day is done, and my game of chance awaits. Well, I'll be. Look who it is. Wait, who are you again? Heavens, where was it I saw you? Let me think. Was it the place with the thing? Oh, right, one of those pioneers that's on everyone's lips. Was it Oko? Oh, hooray, I got it. I just knew I could. But sweet mercy, there's no time for small talk. You, wouldn't happen to have seen the princess, would you? Why, I mean Arciella, silly. But you knew that, didn't you? So, you haven't? Oh dear, what a terrible conundrum. You don't suppose she ran off to the forest again? Where Arciela is? About what will you inquire? Where Arciela is? Why she would go to the forest? I don't know. Why would she go to the forest? Well, to be honest, I'm not sure either. I thought you would know better than I. After all, the two of you seem to have been through a lot together. She tried to smile and laugh it off, but let me tell you, under that happy exterior, she's suffering inside. Yep. I mean, have you heard about her brother? He's just so adorable. Ah! I just want to squeeze him and bite those little toes off. Oh, dear, I didn't say that, and no one can prove that I did. Be that as it may, Arciela is stricken with worry. And not just for her brother, mind you. You should hear all the ruckus when the pro- and anti-colonization factions happen to meet in the halls. It tears at her so much that I cannot blame her for wanting to escape from the castle. It was just like back then. Back then? This is only a story I heard from my mother, who had been nursing Arciela after she was born. This was before Ignis ascended to Grand Chancellor. Ignis was quite a clever young man, but still, a child is a child. His father was always droning on to him about whether or not colonization could recommence. The castle grew dark, and the tension was so thick you could stab it with a fork. Arciela always puts on that brave facade of hers, but she detests such heated arguments. She's always quite sensitive and delicate, you see. So one day, she said enough is enough, and left the castle for the wildlands. Imagine, such a place is as dangerous even for prepared adults, so what hope could a young child have of coming back alive? Of course, a search party was dispatched as soon as they figured out what happened, but no one could find her. Everyone had all but given up hope when, 1 week later, one of the soldiers found her sound asleep in a grassy meadow, one of the few places where light shone through to the forest floor. Arciela was surrounded by all manner of fauna, circled around her frail form as if protecting her. The tale goes that when the party approached her, the beasts did not attack, but instead slowly left, one by one, receding back into the tree line. But it gets stranger. 1 week she had been in the forest, yet there was not a single scratch upon her pale skin, and her tummy gave not so much as a single rumble. And what's more, Arciela had not a single memory of what she had been doing during that time. The only clue we had was a torn piece of cloth marked with a particular sigil that she clutched tightly in her left hand. The torn piece of cloth. Yes, a mere piece of cloth. Well, when they saw the sigil embroidered on that piece of cloth, the heads of the 12 orders stood straight up in their chairs, or so I've heard. Hildebert said in his usual stuffy voice, "To think that he would bring such shadows onto our fair city." In other words, all those bigwigs felt that this man, whoever he was at Arciela's side, all too mysterious, don't you agree? She came back to the castle happier than anyone had ever seen her. Before that, she had been a bit of a shut-in, never passing through the castle gates, but she started to walk around the city more after the incident. And when Ignis took on the mantle of Grand Chancellor, she started venturing into Olbuka more often. And you know what? Things are just like they were then. Never once did the denizens of the jungle so much as breathe on her. It baffles me to the high heavens. Soldiers and pioneers come scurrying back with their tails between their legs, but some mysterious power shields our princess from harm. Though she may be beloved by a certain portion of our citizenry, thanks to those events, there are more than a few who view her with unease. Some even call her the witch, the wild-born witch. Oh dear, my poor Arciella. Why must people say such foul things? There's not a kinder soul in all of Adoulin. It burns my blood to even think of it. Oh, Oko, I didn't mean to take it out on you. It's just overwhelming, you know? Now you understand why I believe she must be wandering the wildlands if she's not in the castle. The next time you go to the Albucan mainland, please bring her back with you. Of course I will. I'm so glad to hear you say that. I worry about her so. After all, we live in troubling times. Her brother needs her perhaps more than any of us do. So again, But by Altana, what's going on? It's Arciella. She... What's wrong? Out with it. She's been abducted by monsters. What? What? There, here it is. That was tough to find. Wow, that was really... So we're here. Alright, so signs of a struggle. Right by this tree here. Let's click on this. Ugh, why did you of all people have to show your unseemly cratered face around me? What is more unsettling, though, is that a creature so base and primitive could possess such unbridled powers. What happened? A tiger happened, that is what. A gargantuan feline with fur as fetidly aureate as Gil dropped in a gutter carried her off in its slobbering jaws. The thing towered 3 full persons above us. Never have I seen a grotesquerie of such cloud-cleaving proportions. Not only that, but its deafening roar shook every tree and stone in sight. A single glance into its beady eyes was all I needed to know that this monstrosity would shred Adoulin's entire populace to bits to satisfy its uncanny thirst for blood. I swear on my life that I could see those ferocious teeth puncture the princess's fair skin as it whisked her into the jungle, and it was all I could do to stay conscious when I caught wind of its breath. The odor could only be described as a mephitic stench of death. Why are you here? The stupidity of your question causes my head to throb with pain. What else could we be doing besides searching for the princess? It is only elementary that we expend our utmost efforts to return the Order of Adoulin's most beloved personage to her homestead if she goes missing. I suppose even that concept proves convoluted to someone who knows only how to spill blood rather than preserve it. Of course, another exorcism, oh, sorry, riffraff, like you probably call them spookamouts or something equally idiotic, is necessary. But just when we thought we had found her, well, this is what happens when your opponent is too craven to face you head on. I do not truly expect a savage beast to understand the concept of honor, but deception and trickery are the only tactics which he may employ to best someone of my caliber. The injustice of it all makes even my visceral organs boil with rage. We were ilms away from bringing her home. Brooding about it, however, will accomplish nothing. I would like nothing more than to go barreling into the depth of the forest and rescue our maiden in distress. But such stratagems befit no one but dim-witted adventurers who have heard one too many heroic ballads. An organized search party suits this situation best, not a misdirected band of vigilantes. Feel free to play your little game of sword and spell all you want, but we competent adults will return to Castle Adoulin to devise a fully thought-out plan. Alright, we obtained the key item, Pristine Hair Ribbon. So, let's also return to the Adoulin Castle. Is it true that Arciella was spirited away, that poor girl? If the latest reports are to be believed, then it is indeed true. Apparently, a behemoths creature snatched her up in its jaws and fled to the jungle's inner recesses. Perhaps snatched up is a tad euphemistic. From what I have heard, gulped down would be much more appropriate. If that is the case, maybe she should swallow her pride and relinquish her title of Wildborn Witch. Melvian, do you understand just how inappropriate that was? My pardons, Gratzig. Still, I get the meteroo of his argument. She's wandered off into the foresteroo hundreds of times and emerged without even a scratch. Didn't she sleep weep amongst the fauna all by her lonesome too? She should be fine even if we make like trees and leave her alone. Plus, maybe the beasteroo just mistook her for one of its cubs and carried her back to its den. It is completely absurd to even entertain such an idea. I never knew how true rang the phrase, wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something until now. And would you care to impart to us your wisdom regarding this incident, Ingrid? I witnessed the whole thing, and I must profess that the walking atrocity in question had nothing more on its mind than to tear our dear princess limb from... I propose that we send a search party for Arciella, which I will command as soon as possible. We cannot lose even a moment to superfluous debates simply for the sake of following procedure. You nominate yourself as commander? I thought that went without question. I wholeheartedly approve this measure. After what has befallen, Ignis Arciella is the last descendant of the founder king who can lead our nation to glory. There is no time to waste on mustering troops. The exorcists will be happy to send their unit of elites, which can be mobilized immediately. How weird. I never would have thought I'd live to see Lord Vortimir volunteering to help Arciella, let alone put his most valued troops at risk on her behalf. Being part of the Founder King's lineage must be even more important than I'd thought. We would be ever so grateful for your help, Vortimir. I, for one, place the fate of our nation in your capable hands. Thank you for the vote of confidence, Svenja. We shall not betray your trust. Your Rosulacea's poem glows brightly, grabbing your attention. Its deep red hue can only be interpreted as a warning of ominous events to come. I just had an epiphany. How about we have Oko take part in your expedition? He has traversed the Albucan continent time and time again. His expert knowledge of the field should be an invaluable addition to your squad. With all due respect, Lady Svenja, it would be detrimental for the country to rely upon an outsider at this juncture. He may be from another land, but Arciella has formed a deep bond with him that transcends nationality. I am truly sorry to heap such an arduous task upon you like this, but would you do us the service of accompanying the exorcists in search of our princess? Accept the offer. Oh, I cannot adequately express the depth of my gratitude towards you. What a kind soul you are. If there is no further debate, I shall set about rallying my unit. But please, I beseech you to keep this incident a secret. We wouldn't want our fair citizens to worry over an issue that is basically solved, would we? Oko? The creatures that skulk amidst Ulbuka's wilds have claimed the lives of many an unprepared pioneer. It may well behoove you to acquaint yourself with your enemy before endeavoring to slay him. How do I do that? Why, the answer is right under your nose. The Pioneers' Coalition is here to serve pioneers. Though Lord Vortimir may have said to keep this under the table, I hardly think only questioning a golden tiger would arouse suspicion. However, it does intrigue me that... Never mind, forget I said a word. I wish you a swift and convincing victory, Oko. Come crawling back, have we, Middlelander? One would think you emerged from Svenja's own womb, the way she coddles you. She may have forced me to enlist your help in this research, but remember this, you churlish brute. I, by my infinitely good graces, am allowing you to assist me, not the other way around. Got it? Good. You are to report even the seemingly most insignificant pieces of information directly to me. No ifs, ands, or buts. Alright, yes, sir. Alright, so let's go back to the Pioneers Coalition, like our friend told us there in that cutscene, and talk to, you guessed it, Level. Howdy, partner. Hope it hasn't been too rough out on the range. So, what can I do you for? Give me information on Arciela. Talk about the Golden Tiger. A Golden Tiger, you say? By golly, I'd be spurring my mount harder than a twithering dust storm to get to wherever one of those was. Bigger and bolder and fangs like logs to boot. Yeah, maybe I'd be better off sweeping the stables. Either way, I ain't got nothing on a beastie fitting that description. Maybe the Scouts Coalition does, though. Alright, well, let's go to the Scouts Coalition and ask them. Alright, I think this is the Scouts Coalition. So, in here, we are... I think I'm in the right spot. There's nobody here. Oh, okay. So we're looking for... It's this guy here in the back. Wagellian. What's this? Who knows? Let's talk to Wagellian here. I don't think we've talked to him before. All the documents we've compiled in the Coalition are for public use. Search till your fingers are covered in paper cuts if you want. What? That's it? Oh, okay. I think we were supposed to get a cutscene. Oh, there we go. I think we got here too quick, so the cutscene didn't initiate. Why, if it isn't... Oko, I did not misremember your name, did I? Oh, thank the heavens. I do remember clearly, however, that you were present at the fateful gathering of heads. I am constantly dangling from a slippery precipice, upon which myriad critical matters hang in the balance. It certainly is a wonder how I managed to remember anything at all. I suppose that is neither here nor there. I doubt you care to know why it was so hard for me to dredge your alias up from the riverbed of my mind. You carry our nation upon your back as you clear the way for progress, and you are currently in the process of uncovering where the light from our brightest star has gone. What would someone of your standing want with our Scouts Coalition? But first let me preempt your inquiry with a corollary. Despite our collective effort to gaze upon and beyond our borders, we still do not know what has become of that star. Oh, but if you do not wish to know of her whereabouts, I have not a clue as to why you are here. Ah, I see. That Goliath with towers for teeth and forest-thick pelage is what you seek. Regrettably, I haven't heard a whit about that particular colossus. The feline part, though, does rub me a certain way. I take it you've heard of Kumhao? The Flashfrost Nakual? All other bestial hellions that stalk the Ulbukan jungle look up to him in fear. If there were a creature on the whole continent who'd know the monstrosity's whereabouts, it'd be him. Sorry that I have nothing further to offer, but I cannot imagine you need much more. Where can you meet him? That would be pertinent information indeed. He may be found prowling the banks of a lake that lies within Khmer Drifts, and is rent by the cries of deities. As you will not be heading into battle, you'll require a special device to make your intentions known. Just a moment. Here you go. Take this with you when you visit those snowy dunes that lie far to the northwest. The Inventors Coalition developed this tintinnabulum, and it releases a special noise when rung. To people like us, it's as silent as a snow-covered night, but for some creatures, let's say, it gets their attention. I will admit that this is neither an orthodox nor a safe method, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I am loath to put someone who's done so much for our alliance in harm's way, but I cannot think of a more appropriate solution at this point. Remember, emphasis that you harbor no ill will and are only there for the Golden Tiger. There will stem the tide of this rage and keep you alive, I hope. Good luck out there. You'll surely need it. Alright, and we received the tintinnabulum from the... Where the heck are we again? The Scouts Coalition, yeah, and I think that's finally where we're going to end it there today. A little bit of a boring episode, guys. I'm kind of sorry. Not a lot of action in this one. Pretty much the entire episode was just story, but it was all necessary Seekers of Adoulin story stuff that we had to get through in order to finally move on. And in the next episode, we are going to be heading to this Khmer Drifts, which we've briefly been. Very briefly. We just basically went there. I can't even remember what we did there. We just went there briefly. We also, I think, activated the waypoint. Let me just check on this. Yeah, here we go. Khmer Drifts. Oh, God, this place. Yeah, I remember that. So anyway, we'll go back here and explore a little more. Looks like we got all the waypoints but one. So in the next... That looks awesome. Wow. Wow, that looks awesome. Oh. Silence that infernal racket. What business have you in my domain? Think before you speak. For your life will be forfeit depending on your response. Please, I mean you no harm. Tell me about Golden Tiger. Is that so? What then is that cacophonous device? Ugh, my ears still ring from the horrible discord it produces. If you truly mean me no harm, you will dispose of that thing immediately or else. You hurriedly discard the tintinnabulum. Let me guess. You had no idea how loathsome that contraption was. Your panicked manner gave it away. What an interesting stratagem. I must praise whomever outfitted you with that bell. Tell me about the Golden Tiger. Such trivial topics are beneath me. Do you know where they took Arciela? What is this? Adoulin's figurehead princess has been abducted? Perhaps that bladed vestige of the ancient pact she hangs from her belt is simply for show. Either that, or she is hardly the Spitfire everyone paints her to be. Even so, I cannot imagine any inhabitant of this jungle would dare attack her, except possibly for him. He is the only one likely to know the whereabouts of the girl. Make for the cave that serves as his den in the southwestern corner of the drifts if you wish to find her. Unfortunately, this spot here is the closest one we wanted, but we never activated it. So I'm just gonna put a little party together. I chose the Frontier Station because it's the closest. We're just gonna put a little party together, and I'll just meet you guys there. Alright, so here's the final wave station that we didn't have. Okay, so now we just need to do a little loop-de-loop thing around in order to get to the cave. The cave is basically right here. You can see it. Yeah, the one right here, right in the middle. Yeah, but we see this little cavern. See this little, like, ravine here that's blocking our path. So we just got to go up and around and then down to get to it. So that's what we're going to do. And we should be able to just take the chocobo all the way there. Alright, so here we go. I think we're in the right spot here. So let's head down this path here. Oh, we wanted... Come on, let me just get off my bird here. Resume point. Okay, let me just look around here a little bit. I don't think we want a resume point. Uh-oh. Oh, what's this? Nope. Is this a one-way thing? Crawling cave. Okay, let's click this. That looks like Adoulin. Well, maybe it is. Maybe that's where... Maybe I didn't realize Adoulin came from this expansion, but I guess that would make sense. We've had him as a trust for a long time, but haven't seen him in the story at all. No, we have. Have you come to finish what you started? Sadly, for you, I have. Is your head too malformed to grasp the concept of an order, Midlander? I thought I told you to report to the castle if you learned anything. If you had, then I would have let you live. Instead, your paltry attempt to exercise your intellect has sealed your fate. Do not take this personally. I did all I could to keep outsiders like you from meddling in this issue between Adoulinians. It is what it is. Oko, listen to me. The tiger is not our enemy. He actually saved me from Ingrid and her horde. Is it true that you found a cure for my brother's illness? Of course, my princess. The answers you seek lie deep within the forest. Allow me to take a stab at escorting you there. Where are you taking me, Ingrid? You shall see. What are you doing? This is nothing personal, Arciela. It is only that your archaically conservative attitudes about expansion are starving Adoulin of its future. If only you were less of a sniveling waif than cowtoes to every sprite in the forest, colonization could have gone on unabated, and this ideal world would have been realized. Eek! You're in trouble now, girl. Stay down. Ouch! Wait. This tiger saved my life. Be a good girl and accept your fate already. I knew it would come to this. Try and see if you can protect that whimpering wretch. Little did you know, I need not take one step closer with this. My soul siphon! Ugh. Now that I have this, I have no use for its mortal husk. Withdraw my retainers. It is time to put the next step of our plan in motion. Oko, a gruff and authoritarian voice booms within your skull, but its fearsome tone, there is no doubt it emanates from the golden-furred tiger. I am Darcelin, descendant of Tersualm, who once presided over the entire expanse of this jungle. Worry not about the girl. I shall look after her. You need only concern yourself with pursuing that foul-mouthed shrew. What she would want with the soul of this maiden here is beyond me, but I cannot abide this egregious transgression. Take this with you. It will enable you to discern even the faintest thaumaturgical trace of any who have trod upon my territory. Sadly, however, its effects are fleeting at best. Should its potency dwindle to naught, pay me another visit, and I will provision you with another forthwith. Now away with you. The longer we wait, the less likely it is that we can retrieve her soul. Alright, so from Adoulin we receive the Aureat Ball of Fur. Now we want to go... We want to just head a little bit to the east. So I think we just want to head down here at the southern part of this little chasm here. Wow, there's a lot of these giant rams here. Somewhere down here. Yeah. Oh, maybe even a little more this way. It might be... Oh, that's probably it right there. Yeah, hallowed pathway is what we're looking for. Let's click on this hallowed pathway. Before you lies a narrow opening to a cragged tunnel, large enough for one person to pass through at a time. Ingrid and the other exorcists likely used it to make their escape. Yes, we'll proceed. What? Since when did piles of rubble move? Those are gargoyles. Do you hear that, Oko? It sounds like those thieves are about to meet their maker. Those lithic figures were once deadly beasts. They were petrified long ago, however, by 7 guardians of the forest who had sworn fealty to August and his retinue. But now, I fear they... That looks cool. Lots of cool things in this episode, actually. Well, they're saving all the good stuff for the end here. Impossible! They are but mere rocks, and I am... I'm going to try and bring in some different people. So, I want to bring in Adoulin. I want to bring in Ingrid. And I think I'll bring in Margaret, too. Who is an archer, I think like a ranger or something like that. But that's a new trust. So let's just give this an attempt. Oh, and then of course I want to eat something. Okay, so there's going to be a bunch of, I guess, these gargoyles down here. But we just need to kill this guy. I think the gargoyles kind of come to his aid, but pretty sure all we have to do is kill this guy, so let's just put all our attention on this and see how it goes. Let's do some buffs. Alright, I think that's probably enough buffs. Alright, so how we doing here? Guess we're ready for a weapon skill. How's that do? Not very much. This guy has a lot of hit points. Yeah, but we're doing okay. Wonder if I should kill some of these gargoyles. Nah. Ugh. Let's just see how we do here. Yeah, this is a completely new kind of like sprite. We've never really seen anything quite like this before. This looks really neat. So this is something new for them. Something else new from the Seekers of Adoulin expansion. Yeah, and that ice tiger outside, or lion, whatever that thing was. That thing was cool. Definitely hope we see more of that. How are we doing here? Pretty good. Some of those gargoyles are dying from area of effect damage, I guess. I'm not sure who's doing that. I don't have Shantoto with me right now, so... It might be Ingrid? I'm not yeah. No. Haven't been paying too much attention to the info box. Okay, he's almost gone here. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure we only have to kill this primogenial Merilith to win the battle. We almost got him. I'm bound in place right now. Well, that's okay. I can still swipe my weapon. Here we go. Here we are. We got him. Why would you even bother saving us? I don't need a reason. You need no reason? I suppose that is why I will always find your kind completely foolhardy and illogical. Are all adventurers from the Middlelands as altruistic as you? What an utter rout. I hardly deserve to hold on to this after such an embarrassing display. So you may have it back, Oko. Know that Arciella has not perished. Her soul has merely been transferred to a different vessel. Once you use this, all shall revert to as it was. With the exception of us exorcists, that is. There is nothing left to us now but to atone for our failures. And we obtained a key item, Soul Siphon. Now we are going to just head back to that cave that we were just at previously. That cave entrance, so just around the corner here. If I were you, Arciela, I would never forgive me for betraying you. Thus, I shall graciously accept whatever punishment you wish to mete out to me. Look at me, Ingrid. We may reside on opposite sides of the colonization issue, but we're both Adoulinians. This nation has no hope for survival if we resort to violence. Isn't that right, Oko? Never a truer word has been spoken. Someone once said, great minds think alike, and I'd like to think he was talking about us when he said it. Well, Ingrid, there you have it. There's no point in letting old wounds fester. But I took my soul? Perhaps, but I'm still alive and well. That's all that really matters, right? How can you be so forgiving? It's obvious that the exorcist's aid is vital to ensuring that colonization continues. For the good of our nation, I don't want to burn bridges that don't need to be. Wouldn't you agree? As you will. I would venture to say her heart is larger than Big Bridge. However, that may very well. You look rather out of sorts, Oko. Is everything all right? That beast can communicate with me. She doesn't need to know that. Yes, I couldn't be better. Are you sure? You seem a little tired to me. Okay, let's tell her that we can communicate with Adoulin. What? You can hear him inside your head? I hate to say it, but I can't hear a thing. Wait, could that fruit Rosulacia gave you possibly be working its magic here? If it is, does that mean this is the start of a whole other saga? And here I thought we were about to find a cure for my brother's ailment. Look at what part of Arciela. Her innocent face, her hilt-clutching hands. Are we supposed to look at the sword again? Let's go for the sword. You point emphatically to the poniard she wields. What about my brother's gesture? You think he wasn't pointing to me, but to Orthersign? Now that I think about it, I also swear I've heard that cryptic riddle Theodore told you before. Oh, I know. It's remarkably similar to the poem my father would tell us as children. I remember because his face would always become eerily grave whenever he told it. I'm pretty sure I also heard it on the night I first saw Orthersign. The poem I heard isn't exactly the same as what Theodore told you, but I believe it goes like this. In an age whence shade deadened his land, the oar of the swallow's white word shalt be fulfilled. The warrants of forest shalt raise the merk blade high, and one of the white feather shalt flourishen the swerdus sext. So the blade in question is Orthersign, and the time of the prophecy is our own. Yes, Oko, that must be it. What in the... dragon? The scourge of the land, rumored to have emerged from Vanadil's primordial muck with the birth of the Albocan continent. This pearlescent worm inevitably appears before Adoulinians in the midst of great calamity. Therefore, the populace has come to regard its presence as an ill omen of the highest degree. Of late, though, a new theory has been put forth by a scholarly collective. It asserts that the scourge reveals itself not as a harbinger of crisis, but as a savior to deliver Albuca from cataclysmic destruction. Neither hypothesis, however, has been proven. That is the scourge of the land. The annals say that disaster and calamity follow in the wake of its wings, but I always assumed its existence to be more parable than fact. It's positively gargantuan, and yet it retains such an air of dignity and grace. Is this what my brother wanted all along? For us to call forth this regal giant? Let's hope that the latest theory proves true, and this dragon sends our nation soaring above disaster rather than up in flames. Okay, and I guess that's basically it for now. Let me just take a look here. Yep, that's it. That's all I have for my notes. So that's where we're going to stop for now. In the next episode, we are going to start things off back in West Adoulin at the Pioneers Coalition, where we will be talking to Level in order to initiate another cutscene and get in on a little bit of new story and gossip that's going on around town, right? But thank you everybody for watching my video today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel by clicking below. I'm Oko, and I'll see you guys all on our next episode of our playthrough of Final Fantasy XI, Seekers of Adoulin expansion. Alright? Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. Bye for now.